So I chose to start drinking distilled water. My friend Seb, this was in around 2014. I was living in London, and he would drive everywhere in his car. He'd carry a distiller in his car to every location. He'd take this, and he was just telling me tap water it's been recycled over and over. They use chemicals in it to make it sort of sanitary so that it's survivable. That doesn't mean that it's healthy necessarily. And I was already on that tip of just kind of thinking for myself, thinking about better nutrition and kind of thinking that maybe this mainstream narrative isn't the most, it's all right, but it's maybe not the most positive full perspective on life. So it's like, if you want to be extra healthy and go that extra mile, looking at things like tap water and starting from scratch is a good way to go. And so he introduced me to that. I got some devices. I got a TDS meter, started measuring the tap water, seeing the parts per million that was in it, and things like that. When you start to connect the dots and see the science, you're like, okay, maybe this isn't natural. You look at spring water and it's a lot less parts per million minerals in it. And then of course, what are the minerals that are in it? They're a lot more organic than what's going to be in our tap water. So things like that started to connect the dots. And I got a Megahome distiller. I think that's the one he recommended, and I bought a Megahome, and it's never failed me. I used that for 4 or 5 years. So yeah, as I just said, as I just mentioned, I got the Megahome distiller. I think that's the one my friend had, and I'm glad I got it. I don't think I bought it off their website. It might have been on Amazon at the time, which I think things have changed now. But I'm just grateful that's the company that I got, because I've recommended distillers to other friends, and they've gone and bought cheaper ones that just haven't. One, it's tasted different, and two, I think it functions not quite as well. And the Megahome, just having it for so many years and it's still functioning fine, it just shows me the quality of the product. I did a 35-day water fast on distilled water out of a Megahome distiller. So without any minerals, I didn't add any minerals to it. Now I wouldn't recommend that, and I wouldn't do that again. But if I was to do it again, I would add minerals. I'd still use the distiller, but I'd just add minerals to it. And I'd probably add my own minerals, salt or the mineral mix. But I think minerals are important. I think we get a lot of the minerals that we need in our food. If we eat healthy, whole food, organically, then we get most of our minerals. But I think water absorbs. I noticed that it's different in the way it absorbs and the way my mouth sort of appreciates it when it's got some minerals in it as to when it hasn't. So I definitely would recommend remineralizing it in your own methods and experimenting with what methods you like. I actually gave talks about distilled water at one point, and I would go around promoting it to everyone. I think just taking control of what we put inside our body, and not just, I don't mean to seem like pessimistic or conspiratorial, but just not trusting everything that we're given, and just because it comes out the tap and it is free or doesn't cost much at all doesn't mean that it's healthy for humans, doesn't mean that it's natural. So just the way it's helped me is just to take control, just to be sovereign and choose, okay, I'm consciously choosing this water and I'm consciously adding these minerals. And I think the more conscious choices we make in our daily lives, and drinking water is like a top 3 staple of what all humans do, doing that consciously is going to affect your life. From that day forward, it's affected me. Tips I'd say to improve health, to live better, would be certainly eating whole food organic as much as possible. Timing when we eat certain foods, so eating carbs more in the daytime or earlier, and protein more in the evening before bed. Nutrition is a massive one. Exercising regularly, not over-exercising. It can be easy to overtrain and then undertraining or not doing enough. The usual things: rest, sleep. I think facing emotions is a big one that maybe doesn't get talked about enough. Is often we have stored emotions which may even be from childhood, and they just carry on out in life into our later life, into our relationships, and they sort of make up this frequency of funk that we can live in. And I think spending time, and this can be every week, sometimes every day, or every month, if you do feel down, we all feel down, is to sit in that funk and to accept it and surrender to it, and try to find the root of that emotion, rather than just being sad that you're sad. It's like, okay, I'm sad, and it's like sitting in it, not distracting ourselves with food, with phones and games and TV shows, but like just sitting in that and just feeling what that feels like. And that way we can burn up these emotions, and then they can stop affecting us as we can move forward in life. We can start to release them. So I think a big one for me is to how to be healthy is to, it's to like, okay, that's where we want to get, but we have to face our own shadows and stuff to get to that place. Is to, okay, I know where I want to get, but if you're just chasing health, I think sometimes it's a slippery slope. We have to go back to come forward. So I definitely say a big one for me is to face our emotions and to try and trace them. That's it for me on this. Thank you guys for listening. I hope this helped and the viewers enjoy it. Much love, guys. I'm Tim. You can follow me on Instagram, Human Timothy, @Human Timothy, or my website is humantimothy.co.uk. Godspeed.